walk me through your career at Montana State back in college.
The basketball?
Yeah.
Obviously, I came as a freshman, came into a loaded situation. They already had it rolling. The seniors, Scott Hatler, Adam Leachman, Mike Elliott, Quadre Lawless, and then obviously some other really good players too. And so I really stepped into a situation which was phenomenal for me because I didn't know I was ready. And I just came in and I'd been hurt my senior year, so I wasn't expecting to play. I was going to redshirt. And then come October, Coach Durham called me aside and said, the guys don't want you to redshirt and I don't want you to redshirt. And so thank God he did. And obviously it was a special year going to the NCAA tournament that year. And just being able to, and Nico Harrison too, I can't forget him, probably one of the most important. But, those guys, they taught me so much just as a freshman. I mean, I still remember Nico taking me to Perkins to eat, just me and him and talking and little things like that made a huge impact on me and just the way, I was the rest of my career. Just playing that year and winning the championship and obviously, going to the NCAA tournament, like it gave you confidence. It gave you a confidence and it gave you something to strive for the next 3 years and to really press. And, obviously we didn't get back there. We got close a couple times, but, overall, it was awesome.
So in the hiring process, did you kind of feel any pressure, I guess after you got hired as well, that you were on the team that was the last team to make it to the NCAA tournament? And now you're coaching at a school where your rival makes it just about every year. So is there pressure behind that, or are you just...
Oh, no question. No question. But that's why you're in athletics. I think there's a ton of pressure from all the fans and that, everybody's expecting things to change, and that's our job, is to make it change. But nobody puts more pressure on me than myself. I know what my standard is, and I know I'm going to work as hard as I can every day, and I know I'm going to be able to go to sleep at night because I've done everything I could possibly do for my players in our program. But no question there's pressure. There's going to be pressure on our team. There's going to be pressure from administration, everything. Everybody, that's why they made the change.
What has your coaching experience been like graduating from college, all the stops you made, long time in California,
Yep.
back in Montana? What has that, whole experience kind of spoke to you to get you here?
I think everything happens for a reason. And obviously I went to California to develop, to get out of, my comfort zone. And, obviously LA is a hotbed, Southern California is a hotbed for basketball, but just to meet different people. I would never have the connections that I do now if I would have stayed here the whole time. And it was really good for me to grow and just get away from everything. Family, you got to get on your own. And the people I worked with, from Coach Braswell to Dedrick Taylor to Brad Hughes when he was here, I've learned something and I've really taken something, how they ran their program and the cultures they developed. And, I'm going to take that into my own program.
What's been the favorite program that you've worked at?
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble.
Careful.
I can't.
You can't say all of them.
Well, obviously Montana State, so I'd have to stick with that one. But I don't know. I'd get in trouble because Fullerton and Northridge, I have so much love for those people there. Like they both did so much for me, and Coach Braswell, Coach Taylor, just the administration, and the former players. Like if I said Fullerton, the players at Northridge would be mad. If I said Northridge, the players at Fullerton would be mad. But they've all made a huge impact on me and an imprint on me and my career.
So since you can't say your favorite, how about we pick up on what do you think that you've learned from each program? Just what is something different?
I think, at Northridge I learned how to really develop culture. Coach Brad, it's the hardest job in the league, or it was when we were there. It's different now. But it was, low resource. It was just the staff and the players, and that's what it was. And we had a huge chip on our shoulder. We were always the underdog, and I like that. And then at Fullerton, very similar. It's not the top job in the league. There's other people that have better facilities and more money to recruit and things like that. And you develop that chip on your shoulder, but you also learn how to work without much. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're at Hawaii, Long Beach State, or at Northridge or Fullerton. Everybody's trying to get to the tournament. So even if they do have more money than you and a better facility, it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to get it done.
Okay, so who do you think has influenced you the most? Whether it's coaches, mentors, players, and since you graduated in your coaching tenure.
Obviously my dad. My mom and my dad. Different ways. My mom obviously not so much athletically, but my dad obviously, because he was a football coach. And then Coach Braswell and Coach Taylor, excuse me, just like how much they took pride in developing me. A lot of coaches don't, they just expect their assistants to work for them, but like they work to help me get better too, and I would see it daily, whether they were, even when you thought they were being hard on you, like after a week or two, you're like, oh, now I see why he was doing that. He was doing that because he expects me to be great. So I'd say those two, in the coaching profession, Coach Taylor and Coach Braswell.
So when you were an assistant, what was your favorite branch of being an assistant coach, whether it was recruiting or operations, or what do you think was the best part about your assistant coaching?
Probably recruiting. I was the recruiting coordinator at Northridge and Fullerton. I like traveling different places. You meet different people, get different connections. Like, you see different kids from different areas, and it's amazing how different kids are. You can go from New York to Florida to Texas, LA. Like, every kid, they're different. From all the different countries, or even overseas too. But probably recruiting. I think because you just get out and you experience different things.
What kind of kids do you like to recruit?
I like to recruit skilled kids that want to be here. Kids that are good in the classroom, kids where basketball is important to them, like they want to play professionally someday. I want them to have those aspirations. I want them to have the aspirations of getting a degree, playing professionally when they're done here. And I want guys that want to be a great teammate. Most importantly, I want unselfish guys that, I want you to get to the highest level, but I want you to do it the right way.
Do you think that you recruit kids who are like you?
I hope so, because basketball was important to me. I was a gym rat. Like, that was my life growing up, was football, basketball. I came from an athletic family where it was always there. My dad was the football coach, so you're always at games or practices and things like that. And I took an enormous amount of pride in being from Montana State. I mean, I still remember when I was going to school here, it was like, you probably couldn't pick a day where I didn't have a Montana State basketball shirt on. Whether you're out in the community, you're always, trying to enhance the brand. And I want our players to do that similarly.
Okay, so you said that your goal was to be a head coach by 30.
Yep, didn't quite make that happen.
What do you think about the timing now?
It's actually perfect because, like, when you look back on it, I know I wasn't ready at 30. Even though I probably thought I was at the time, I wasn't. And just the experiences I've had since then, I would have never gone to Cal State Fullerton and worked for Coach Taylor. I would have never, been at the NCAA tournament the second time when we went at Cal State Northridge against Memphis. And things like that happened after I turned 30 where, all the different connections I have more recruiting-wise. Like, I never recruited internationally until I was over 30, which I plan doing a lot more of. But, things like that, and just, sometimes in your life it happens at the right time. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I just know it's the right time.
So what kind of head coach do you want to be?
I want to be a guy, that's similar to the guys I've worked for, where the players, they're not scared to come in the office. Like, come in the office. There's nothing to be scared of. Like, come tell me what your problems are, whether it's on the court, off the court. If you're having a problem in the dorms, you don't think you're eating enough, like, I want to know. I want to know what I can do to help you get that. I want to have that relationship with the guys that, a lot of head coaches don't, because it's a different chair. And I'm sure I'm going to have to adjust to that, where the guys, they're not coming to your office all the time now anymore. Like, you're kind of that authoritative figure. But I still want the guys to be comfortable, and I want them, on the court to feel the same way, to play free.
And was the goal to always get back home, or was it just, a head coaching opportunity, a great one at that, but...
I mean, it was just to get a head coaching opportunity. I didn't care where it was. I would have preferred it to be here, obviously because of my roots here. But I mean, I was just looking for any head coaching opportunity. There's only 352 of them in the Division I level, and so I mean, it's super competitive, and it's hard to get your foot in. I mean, there's some great coaches that have never even been a head coach, that never gotten the opportunity, and so that's something I don't take lightly.
The emotions on Friday, and I've never seen as much emotion as you had. Kind of walk me through what was going through your head.
Just, it's hard when you're like looking right at everybody and you're seeing your parents there, your sister, all her little kids there, my nieces and nephews, and then you see my two best friends from growing up, that went to school here, and you see your dad, like, then you just see all like the Bobcat fans that, they didn't have to come there on a Friday afternoon. There's better stuff to do than come see me. But they showed up, and that just shows like the support. And I hope our players showed that I want them to have that someday too, like those connections with the community and the fans here, because I think it's a special place, and there's not a lot of places like Bozeman that have, where it's just a complete college town, and you're going to be remembered forever. Whether you do something good or do something bad, and you have to make sure you're making the right choices along the way.